2, 3.
Hi, my name is Miss Becky, and today I'm here at the library, and this month we're promoting dairy and dairy products. I'm going to do the coolest experiment ever with milk, and I just want to give you a little background of milk. I work with the 4-H program, and that's for 4th through 12th graders, and they can do different projects, and one of those projects is actually a dairy project. Now, we can do dairy foods more in this part of West Tennessee, but in some other parts, some of them actually live on a dairy farm and raise dairy cows. So most of you probably have milk at home or milk products. Some of you may recognize more of this in your house. And if you see one and you're visual like me and you see the blue, you think, oh, that's the kind that we have at our house. This is a 2% milk, which has less fat in it than the other milks. Now, if you see one that's got a red cap like this, but since this is blue, that means it's actually whole milk and it has more fat. If you see one with a pink cap, my brothers would say that's a really, really different kind of milk, but a lot of people can't have the fat, and that's called skim milk. Now, if you see one actually with a green cap, that is buttermilk, and my dad used to like to drink that, and I never understood why. But if you like biscuits, you like pancakes, a lot of times this kind of milk is what's in there, and it's usually a lot thicker. You may see we have different types of milk in front of us today. There are a lot of people that have to drink different kinds of milk because their digestive system just can't handle regular cow milk. I'm one of those people, and I drink something or use something called lactose-free milk, and it just takes a certain sugar out of our milks that helps me be able to eat that kind of milk or be able to use it on my cereal or cook with it. But today we're going to do an experiment starting with milks that go from higher fats to versions of saturated fats that are kind of the same when we get down to the end. So I'm going to kind of introduce our products. We have one that's just organic whole milk. And with organic, certain things are not used at certain farms when they are processing those milks. We also have something that is macadamia milk, and that is used with from macadamias, and it is just a different way to process something for you to have milk in your diet. Of course, I mentioned buttermilk, and it's used in a lot of cooking. Sometimes people might drink it a little bit if they have an upset stomach, because it can sometimes help with that too. We have this kind of milk also. It's also an organic oat milk, and that is definitely, you would think it's actually made from oats. And if you might see, it has a little bit different color than some of our other milks. We also have flax milk, and this is unsweetened, and some of them are unsweetened. You'll need to read labels. It's also important because some of those can tell if you're unsweetened, if they have a flavor in it like almond, because if you have an almond flavor and you need to cook with it, that might not taste good in most dishes. We also have an organic low-fat milk. We have rice milk, and of course, as it says on the label, it's made from rice products. And then we have almond milk, which is made from almonds. And just a little fun fact about almonds. Most of those are grown in California. That's where I was born, so a long way from Tennessee. And I got to take the coolest tour when I was a very young person and got to see how they actually process the almonds coming into the factory. So what we're going to do is we're going to take some things. We have our milk in front of us in these bowls. We have some food coloring, all different colors. And we also have a little bit of soap. And for those who have dabbled a little bit or worked a little bit with STEM projects, which is a lot of times science experiments, that's what we're going to do today. So we're going to see some chemical reactions. And when you are able to do this, you might be able to do it at home, and you may have some different milks. So I'm going to put several squirts or drops of different food colorings in our milk, and I'm going to start with the high fat milk today. So 3 or 4 drops of each color just makes it fun. If you like rainbows after the rain, this may remind you of what it might look like to start. And so we have red and orange, and blue, and one of my favorite colors, green. So I'm going to put drops in each of the milk. We're going to let them sit for just a few minutes, and then we may take one of our, you can take a toothpick or you can take a Q-tip, a cotton swab, and you can mix those around a little bit. But they're going to start moving a little bit on their own. So for each one of these, I'm going to go ahead and do my colors. I'm just going to go ahead and do red on each one of those. I'm going to move to my other colors. And it's really fun to watch, because sometimes the colors stay in one spot when you do this. Sometimes they start moving around on their own. Sometimes it doesn't even look like it's the right color in our milk. So you just never know what something may look like. If you don't know much about food coloring, it is something very safe to use when we're cooking. When I worked in a bakery, I used a lot of food coloring to make different colored icings. Some are harder to make than others because you've got to know more about different colors and how they react. And then other people may use different colors to make other things in their household. Just a little secret, what my mom used to do with food coloring is my dad loved pink lemonade. She could not always find the mix for pink lemonade. So my mom, she did a little trick, and she actually put a little food coloring in my dad's lemonade, make it pink, and then he was good to go. He would have drank it the regular way, but this way it was something that she could accommodate with something that is not harmful to your body. Okay, you may notice that some of them are just sitting there right now. This one right here actually is just kind of holding the color all together. This one is kind of like that too, but you see some of our thinner milks maybe, they're actually just sitting there. So we're going to start with our highest fat milk, and we're going to start swirling just a little bit, and you can see that it's starting to look like a really, really cool rainbow. So we're going to go to our next one, and these are actually sitting there, so it'll be interesting to see our chemical reaction and what it might do. They're not spreading out as much. They're just kind of little lines going here. I feel like I'm painting, and this might be a good thing to do when, oh Mom, I'm bored, or whatever it might be. You could do a little painting and then some milk. Okay, so, and you might see that certain colors dominate the milk a little more than others. Let's see what our buttermilk may do. And okay, so this one is even more like painting. This one probably to me might be the most fun, and you might see some different colors going on. That's probably my favorite so far, but we all may have different favorites. So let's see what this one might do. It's our oat milk. Oh wow, look at what the oat milk is doing. It's just kind of going, whoo, you know, it's just kind of doing its own thing, and you can see how the blue is so much more dominant in that one. It's just kind of taken over, I think. And then we're gonna look at the next one and see what, this one may be pretty cool too, because remember it stayed kind of by itself. Okay, let's see what this one is. Look, it's doing some pretty good swirlies in there. And you see in this one that it looks like green is a little more dominant. So it's like something you might want to do some research about, is why maybe some colors do different things in a certain experiment. Okay, let's see what this next one will do. And this is just a lower fat organic milk. It's kind of doing the same thing that the other organic milk did, and the blue is a little more dominant, and kind of a little bit with the green too. I don't know about you, but it looks like we might, It looks like we kind of could be making a tie-dyed shirt with some of these. So we're gonna do the next one, and the next one is just kind of going, well, okay. So it's just kind of there. There again, the blue is very, very dominant. And then our last one, let's see what the last one does. Now it kind of held together a little bit, so let's see what the almond milk may do. So with the almond milk, it's kind of spreading a little bit different. It's not just taking over the bowl, but it's kind of spreading. So if you see that even though everybody drinks different types of milk, that each one of our products here has a different reaction of our food coloring. So if you'll look at each one of them again, think what your favorite might be with our organic whole milk, with our one with macadamia milk, our buttermilk, our oat milk, our flax milk, our low-fat organic milk, our rice milk, and our almond milk, and see which one is your favorite. I don't know if you have the favorite of yours, but right now I'm still sticking with the buttermilk because I do think with the buttermilk we could swirl it just a little bit more and see what else it may do. And I think this one could give you entertainment for hours, but because of the fat content and the way it's processed at our dairies, the chemical reaction is a lot different. Well, today I hope you enjoyed our little science experiment with milk. This is a lot of fun, and you can go to various places on the internet with permission from your parents and learn how to do some really cool science experiment. Science used to be scary to me, but since I like to cook, I think I do science all the time in my kitchen. I hope you enjoyed our dairy experiment today. Thank you.